All right, welcome in Sagittarius and Sagittarius placements. This is your beginning to mid-August 2026 reading. So this reading spans from the time period of August 1st through the 15th of 2026. And it is intended for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. All right, so we're going to get a couple oracles and then get into tarot. If you're watching and you feel that it resonates with roles being reversed, then feel free to do so. And if you're feeling that it's not resonating at all, please check another placement. All right, let's get into it here for you. Archangel Michael, Holy Spirit, Holy Angels, what do we have for Sagittarius and Sagittarius placements for the period of August 1st through the 15th, 2026? What do they need to know? What might be going on here? Okay, we've got revenge. Patterns, enjoying the show, getting even, childish behavior. Okay. Okay, a couple other cards here. Okay, we have admire, inspired by you, songs, emotional bond, and telepathic love. Okay, and then we also have self-love, acceptance, self-treatment, intentions, and self-awareness. All right, let's see what this is all about here. All right, Spirit, what is the overall energy here for Sagittarius and Sagittarius placements from August 1st through the 15th, please? Okay, so first card that flipped over is the Three of Wands. What else do we have, Spirit? Okay. We have the Nine of Swords. We have the Knight of Wands. What else do we have, Spirit? What else do we have? We have the Hanged Man. Okay. And we have the Knight of Swords. I'm going to scoop my candle over. Okay. On the bottom is the Magician. All right. So I feel that you all are moving forward, okay? You're looking toward the future. You are looking to move on from a situation that you've been dealing with a person here. And I feel like you're just ready to move forward. You're ready to move on. You're ready to put the past behind you, okay? And I feel that you're even, ready to put distance between you and this person, whoever this, is or was for you. All right. So you're just wanting to move forward here. All right. I feel like whoever this person is or was, they're coming through as the Knight of Wands. Okay. So this person could have been someone who, maybe kept their options open. Maybe they made you feel like an option, or maybe they legitimately made you an option, where maybe you were a third party or they had a third party behind your back, whatever way it resonates. Okay. But whether they made you feel that way or whether they actually did make you an option, this person is in that energy where they like to keep their options open. At least right now, that is their energy. And when they showed up for your connection, again, that is how their energy was coming across here. Okay. So this person is someone who might have been very inconsistent with you, maybe hot one day, cold the next. They could have been in and out of your life, just, the way the wind blows or whatever worked for them. Okay. Maybe they were texting you constantly one day and the next day they were ghosting you. You couldn't get in touch with them. If you ever talked about commitment or maybe things that were, deeper than surface level type things. So emotion or, the future, things like that. They might have not really wanted to talk about those kind of things. maybe they didn't want to put a label on your connection. Okay. All sorts of things like that. Maybe they breadcrumbed you, gaslit you, things like that. Maybe they strung you along. Okay. Whatever this person did to you, though, they gave you a sense of anxiety, though. Okay. I feel like this person brought a sense of anxiety and stress to your life that you did not want. I mean, I don't feel like anybody really wants to be stressed or anxious, but I feel like, you are most likely someone that values your peace. And this person brought drama into your life. Okay. And I feel like, you could have even had sleepless nights because of this person and their behavior. Okay. So I feel like there is potentially distance now between the two of you with the Three of Wands, that the distance, it could be physical distance, it could be emotional distance, it could be energetic distance, or all of the above, or a combination. And I feel like, that the way you're feeling inside potentially is, like I was saying originally when the cards first came out, that you're ready for this. You're just ready to move forward. You're looking toward the future and you're wanting to move past whatever this person has put you through. Okay. I feel that maybe when you were in a connection with this person, or because of this connection and the intensity maybe, or, what this person meant to you, it's put you in some sort of stuck and stagnant type energy, where maybe you've felt that, you have wanted to move on with the Three of Wands. You're ready to look toward the future. You're trying to move forward, but you're still feeling stuck in some kind of hamster wheel, or some kind of almost like quicksand, where you just feel like every step is heavy, or you're just not able to make any kind of action or moves. Anything, maybe you've tried to move forward, and it's not going anywhere, because either the thoughts and the feelings of this person creep back in, or there's something here as far as maybe an energetic cord that is still there, that you can't completely detach from this person and the situation, So I feel like not only, during the connection with this person, were you in this possibly stuck and stagnant energy where, this person, as the Knight of Wands, they maybe talked, a good game, and maybe they future faked you, leading you to believe that things would be moving forward, and they never did. So I feel like the connection with this person never progressed. It just stayed in this stuck and stagnant energy. But for some of you, I feel like, you're wanting, like I said, to move forward past this, and you're still feeling that there's something holding you back, possibly. Okay, maybe you're getting a new perspective on things. I do also feel that this person has gotten a new perspective as well. And they know, I feel like this person knows, and they feel energetically that you are wanting to move on, or you have basically moved on to a point where you are almost, gotten them out of your energy, or, maybe you've made it clear energetically that you want to be done with this. And they can feel that. So this person, whoever this Knight of Wands is, this person from your past, this person because I feel like, for some of you, you might still be in a connection of some sort with this person. Maybe they're in your life with minimal contact or something. But for a lot of you, I feel like this is like no contact. Okay. But this person is wanting to rush back in and move toward you in an impulsive and possibly even reckless manner, because they know that you're slipping through their fingers. Okay. And there's something about this connection where, this person admires you. I really do get that out of, from these oracles that came out, which I don't always take them at face value. But I feel like you have shown this person what self-love really is, because I feel like you have decided to put yourself first here, and that you have made decisions and taken action. You might have even said certain things with your words as well, but I feel, especially with your action and behavior, that you have shown this person what true self-love really is. That you have self-respect here. And I feel like this person, they've most likely been in this Knight of Wands energy for a while. I don't feel like this is something new for this person. And I feel like, they maybe have been dealing with a lot of superficial people in the past. And I just got chills there. Yeah. That they prefer superficial connections. They don't want things to be deep. They don't want things to be emotional. They just want like superficial connections where it's, coming in for a good time, not for a long time. Let's just have some fun and we'll keep emotions out of it. Because when emotions, are at play here, that's when people get hurt. Because they probably have had some kind of experience, whether it was in childhood, whether it was in past relationships, or both, where they have learned to close off their heart chakra because they've been hurt. And I'm sure that you've been hurt as well. We all have been through things, but this person has chosen a different path to, it's almost a path of denial. They are denying that healing. They're denying that soul growth, to learn their lessons from these challenging and painful experiences. And where you all have maybe embraced that sense of healing, and you are understanding that you need to have a certain level of self-respect and self-love here, and that your feelings do matter. Okay, so I feel like this person is actually inspired by you, and there is some kind of emotional bond that the two of you have. And so this person, I'm telling you, they're feeling something here. Now, maybe this person is very immature, with this childish behavior. They could be somebody who was displaying childish behavior. You might resonate with them being immature. There are also most definitely patterns within this person that are at play. Okay, so this person is most likely going to move toward you at some point here. Could be within the next couple weeks. That might be why it's coming out. But they want to communicate. It, like I said, it could be impulsive because they know they need to act quickly, and maybe that's something they weren't prepared to do. So this, just be prepared that this person might come in this manner where, they might actually say things that they didn't think about ahead of time. Hopefully it's not anything hurtful, but it is an impulsive and possibly even reckless type manner. With the Magician being on the bottom here, I feel like, this person, they're missing you in their life. And I feel like they want to take the action that they know they've needed to take, I believe, for, at least a while here. I feel like this is something this person has known, but they have been, they've been sitting on this with the Hanged Man. Okay. That this person has known that they needed to take some kind of action here toward you. Okay. They want to manifest. They could have even been manifesting you coming toward them. And now that they're realizing that's not happening, they know they need to do something on their end. Okay. Just take it as it resonates. But I do feel for the majority of you, this person was hoping that you would reach out to them first. Because, maybe people in the past have always done that. Maybe even in the past you have done that to make things right, make things better, make amends, or, work things out. And now, now that you haven't reached out, I feel like this person is realizing that, you're doing what's best for you, and that if they don't do something here, you are going to slip through their fingers. Okay. So Let's see here. As far as signs, we've got fire, we've got air, and then we have Pisces, and we've got Gemini and Virgo. Okay. All right, Spirit. So what are the potential challenges or difficulties that Sagittarius and Sagittarius placements might be facing this first half of August 2026? What are the potential challenges, the potential difficulties? Okay. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. Kind of work around the cat here. We have the King of Swords. We have the Chariot. Okay. We've got the Seven of Cups. What else? Okay. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. And on the bottom is the Sun. Okay. So with the Seven of Pentacles being here, I feel like this person has been in your life for at least a certain amount of time here. Okay. I feel like it's not like a new connection where you just met this person. There has been some kind of investment that has been made here. All right. And so I feel like, you have given at least a certain amount of, some of you have given more than others just because of the length of time, the difference in time or the difference in the amount of investment that you have given. But you all have given some sort of investment of time, of energy, maybe for some of you, even money, okay, to this connection. And so I feel that walking away from that investment might be pretty difficult for you. Okay. Giving up on something that you really felt was going somewhere, something that you felt was worth the investment and worth the energy that you were putting in, it is hard to walk away from that. All right. Now, also, I'm feeling with the Seven of Pentacles that moving towards something else or someone else and giving of yourself again might also feel challenging for you at this point, because you might be in that energy of giving yourself that self-love, where you are pouring the cup of love that you were giving to this person, you're pouring it into yourself. So maybe you are more focused on yourself right now, and to think of being with someone new and going through this again, and can I trust someone, and is this person going to meet me halfway with as far as investment? It could be something that's challenging and difficult to even think about. Okay. Now, also with the Seven of Pentacles, it could be an energy of, time, and waiting, because, with the Seven of Pentacles, when you plant the seeds of investment, it takes a little bit of time. It takes nurturing to allow that to grow. And I feel like, there could be something here as far as time that's gone by. And, yes, I'm talking about possibly time as far as, like I was saying, with, as far as long as you have known this person, where you have given, this investment over a specific amount of time. And, it's not like you just met them or, something like that. But I feel like maybe, maybe you've been in separation from this person for a certain amount of time. And, with the Hanged Man, maybe things have been in this like stagnant type energy. And this person has just not given you closure. They've not come in with this conversation as far as, honesty or whatever it is. There could have been a certain amount of time that's gone by here since you've walked away maybe from this person. Okay, so that might be something else that's difficult to even get past right now, because, for a lot of people, it's almost like too little, too late. Why did you wait so long? And so if you resonate with that, that might be something else that's weighing on you. Okay, take that only as if it resonates for you, though. Okay. Now, with the King of Swords being here, I feel like I almost feel twofold about this, where, maybe this person this Knight of Wands that you've been dealing with, you know, maybe they were hot and cold, like I said, where in the Knight of Wands energy, that's the hot part, right? But then they could be cold and detached the next moment. They might be ghosting you the next moment. You know, this person I feel did have and does have like a little bit of, at least a little bit, if not a lot, of a wall around their heart. Okay. And so, you know, they've kind of disconnected their heart and their mind. I don't feel that this person makes decisions out of their heart space or from their intuition. It's more out of their logical and rational mind. And this person's, you know, logical mind has been telling them, not just with you, but I'm feeling for quite a while here, that they have been hurt before when they have been open with their heart with someone, and they got stomped all over. You know, their heart was stomped on. So their mind is telling them, you know what? You need to protect yourself. You need to not show people emotion. You need to not let your heart, you know, guide you. You need to just be in denial, like gloss over, you know, any kind of emotional type things and keep things strictly superficial. That's the only way that you will, you know, protect yourself from getting hurt, you know? So I feel like that's been this person's energy, you know, whether they have air in their chart or not. It's just the energy I feel from this person. Now, the fact that this person has been this way, you know, that is difficult to get past. You know, if they've been this way before with you, I mean, if they want to make amends and, you know, possibly even have like a second chance here or something, then that might be very difficult to understand that this person is still in that energy when you've been through it before and it's brought you the Nine of Swords here. Now, also, I'm feeling that the King of Swords might also be the energy that either you are in right now or you know you need to embrace. Because, you know, Swords energy is not always the most easy energy for most people, because it does involve detachment and kind of closing off, like I said, that heart chakra a little bit. And it's not that easy for people, you know, to do that and not have their emotions be at play, you know? So I feel that you all most likely feel, as far as this person's concerned, that you need to be detached as well, that you need to detach yourself from emotion that you've had with this person, that whatever feelings that you still feel, that you need to kind of, I don't want to say push them aside, but not make any decisions or not take any actions based upon them. You know, to make any kind of decisions and take actions based on logic for yourself. And, you know, like I said, that might be something difficult, you know, because I'm sure that you still have a lot of feelings for this person. And to not allow those feelings to be forefront um, in your behavior, in your mind, in, you know, to not have that heart and mind connection, you know, it might be pretty difficult, you know, to be in that energy. Okay. The King of Swords is also someone who doesn't, that doesn't hesitate to cut off who no longer serves them. And again, that's something that's not the easiest thing to do. Okay. So with the Seven of Cups here, I do feel that this person most likely made you feel like an option again. Okay. Whether they made you feel that way or whether they actually did make you an option, you know, because of other people, things like that. Whatever resonates for you, that is something it's probably difficult to even get past that. Okay. This person could have confused you. You know, maybe their words and their actions never matched. You know, they could have also disillusioned you with future faking and telling you whatever they felt like, you know, you wanted to believe, or whatever they felt like you wanted from this connection, just to keep you strung along. So I feel like those are all things that, if this person wants to connect with you again in any way, that it might be difficult for you to get past that that's what they did to you. I also feel with the Seven of Cups, the idea of you keeping your options open and being open to whatever the universe brings your way, that might also be difficult at this point. Maybe due to lack of trust in people. With the Seven of Pentacles, maybe being fearful possibly or hesitant to invest in someone or something else because you just don't know what might happen, if this person's going to act the same way. Am I going to fall into a pattern that's similar to what I had with this person? You might be seeing 77, or 777 might be significant maybe for someone's birth year or something like that. Okay. As far as the Wheel of Fortune is concerned here, I do feel that as far as change within this connection and going in a better direction, I feel that you might feel like that's a difficult order here, that might be something very challenging to be able to change things for the better between the two of you. You might feel that it's something that it's going to be very difficult. It's like an uphill battle because of this person's energy. Not only that, I feel like it might feel like an uphill battle and a difficulty because of what this person has put you through. The wounding that they have given you. This person's wounded you, and to be in the energy of being open to change and thinking that that positively that things will could possibly change between the two of you in this dynamic. I mean, I feel like that's something that it might be pretty difficult for you to even imagine that it could happen. Okay. Again, with the Chariot, I feel like there's definitely distance between the Three of Wands and the Chariot being here. And like I said, that distance it could be emotional, it could be energetic, it could also be physical distance. So to bridge that distance, any of those, I feel could be difficult for you to do at this point. I also feel that the idea of moving forward, like I said, in a positive direction with change in this connection and with this person, I feel like, you all are probably thinking, well, I don't really feel that that's going to be possible here at this point, or it's going to be extremely difficult. And I feel like, like I was saying, it's all in part or mostly in part to change within this person. I feel like this person needs significant change. They need transformation within them. And so I feel like, there definitely were lessons involved here. And I feel like, you're learning your lessons. You have chosen yourself, it looks like. You're giving yourself that self-love and self-care. You're doing what you need to for yourself, and you're pouring that cup of love you were giving to this person into yourself. And that's what you should be doing. Has this person changed? I really don't get the energy that this person has changed. So again, I feel like for those reasons, and because of the wounding that this person has given to you, that any thought of change within this connection and moving things forward with the Chariot might be very, very difficult as far as you having positive thoughts about that. Okay. With the Sun here, I feel like moving toward or believing that things might be happier in the future, like things, you might be moving toward, happier days, things like that. That might be something that, maybe it hasn't happened for you yet. Maybe you are still feeling like there's like a dark cloud surrounding you, that you've been hoping for things to change in your life. You've been wanting to move in another direction. Maybe things haven't happened just yet. So maybe keeping a positive outlook, or maybe even feeling like, this connection happened for a reason, and trying to find the lessons and the silver lining within this connection. Why this happened, why this person was brought into your life. Maybe those types of things are, not the easiest things to embrace right now because of the pain, that this person has put you through. I also feel, and only take that as it resonates, but I also feel that for at least some of you out there, that maybe you have been illuminated to something here. Okay. That there has been a level of awareness, or like I said, clarity of some sort, illumination of maybe the truth. Maybe there is something here where you have come to an understanding that, change might not be possible in this situation with this person. It's almost like something here, like I said, was illuminated to you. And I feel like whatever it is, it again brought clarity to a certain degree, but it also is difficult to accept it. Okay. Yeah. So let's see here. As far as additional signs, we now have earth and water. So all signs are out here. Okay. We also have Cancer, and then we've got Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio, and then Leo again here. Okay. All right. So Spirit, what is your advice and guidance for Sagittarius and Sagittarius placements for the period of August 1st through the 15th, please? What is your advice? What is your guidance for them? Well, there's your card. So we've got Temperance. Okay. Oh, we've got the Sun. Okay. We've got the Eight of Wands. We've got the Moon. Ooh, okay, I thought I saw another card here. What is this one? Okay, the Four of Pentacles. And on the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Wands. I am being guided to look under that. So we also have the Two of Cups here and the Magician. Oh, and the Hierophant. Okay. All right. So as far as your guidance here, Spirit really wants you to do whatever is necessary in your life right now to maintain that sense of peace, that sense of balance, and that sense of harmony. Okay. With the self-love card here, I feel like you all are giving yourself that self-love and self-care, but definitely continue to do that. Okay. For those of you who maybe are not doing that as much as maybe you want to, or as much as you should, then I feel like Spirit is really wanting you to do that as much as possible. Okay. Not only that, keep a positive outlook, because there is more peace on the horizon here for you. Okay. Even if times might not feel so peaceful right now. With the Sun, I do feel like Spirit wants you to move toward, whatever makes you the happiest right now. Okay. So do what makes you happy, whether it's a certain hobby, or, it could even just be hermiting at home. Whatever you feel like doing right now, Spirit wants you to follow what makes you the happiest. Okay. What makes your heart happy. Now, I also feel with the Sun being here, as well as the Eight of Wands, that again, there might be something here as far as communication that will illuminate things for you in this situation. Okay. So I feel like this person is going to be reaching out, or you're getting some kind of communication here. Like I said, we do have the Knight of Swords. So I feel like this person is planning on moving toward you. And so something, this Eight of Wands could be related to this person. It could also be that you hear something else from someone, you know, that maybe knows this person or something like that. But there's something here about communication that will help illuminate something for you. Okay. And I feel like maybe it's something that will help you move toward a, you know, more, a path of peace and, like I said, harmony. Okay. Balance. I feel like this communication, number one, is something hidden from you. Like you don't know that this is coming, other than, you know, me telling you from this tarot reading. But also, I feel like this communication, whatever this Eight of Wands is, it's going to be something that maybe this person has been hiding from you. Okay, so there are some hidden truths here within this person that they have not told you about. Now, maybe it's something related to their past, could be something that they have realized within themselves, could be something as far as their true feelings, you know, for you. It could be a multitude of things. But whatever they want to talk about, or whatever, you know, is enlightened for you here with the sun, through this communication, not only are you not seeing this coming, but I feel like it is something related to what this person is hiding beneath the surface. Okay. And it's something that this person has been holding back from you. Okay. So just be prepared that this is coming your way. Okay. I feel like this is more of just advice or guidance as far as like spirit telling you what's on its way to you. Okay. So that you're prepared. And, you know, I feel like, you know, whatever this is, as far as the moon, whatever this person's been hiding, they've been holding tightly to this. It's something that they don't tell other people. Okay. So I feel like this person wants to be honest with you. Now, I also feel with the bottom of the deck being the Ace of Wands here, I feel like spirit wants you to be open to, you know, possibly a new beginning here. For some of you, you know, if this is someone that you feel that you do want to give another chance to, it could be with them. But for some of you, I feel like this is something new coming in. Okay. So whatever you resonate with, I am getting both energies here. Okay. But there is a new passionate beginning that might be on its way to you here. And it's with a soulmate. It's with a soulmate connection. Okay. Like I said, I mean, you know, if this person communicates and demonstrates that they've changed, you know, and you want to give them another chance, I mean, obviously we all have free will here. Spirit is saying that there is, you know, a new beginning, like I said, offered, that's going to be offered. And it could be with this person. It could also be after you move on from this. I feel like this is something that you've maybe been manifesting. Okay. It's something coming to fruition here, and it does have to do with commitment. Okay. So I feel for a lot of you, I mean, especially if this person shows up and they're still in this Knight of Wands energy, I feel that, you know, for a lot of you, you just want to move on. And I really do feel that even for some of you, that if this person comes in and, you know, tries to show you that they've changed, that you still might want to move on from this, you know? And so if that's the case, then, you know, I feel like spirit is saying there's someone else here. There's someone else, or it's a partnership of some sort here. That's a soulmate energy. Okay. That could be coming in. Like I said, for some of you, I mean, for at least a few of you out there, you know, you might reconcile with this person, but, I feel for a lot of you, you just want to move on. You know, you just want more peace and balance in your life here, you know? All right, so let's see here. So I know we've got all signs. We also have Sagittarius, like I said, another card of Leo, Pisces, Taurus. We've got Gemini and Virgo. Okay. So several major arcana here. So I feel like this is a significant connection as far as bringing change in for both of you, major lessons possibly. Okay. You know, maybe you were the catalyst for this person to change. You know, because I do feel like this person admires you. I feel like this person has been chased, and I feel like the fact that you are giving yourself that self-love and you moved away from this because of self-respect, that this person was not expecting that. This person was expecting you to chase them. And I feel like the fact that you didn't, it separates you. It puts you on a pedestal, and they admire you for that. Okay. All right, Sagittarius. Well, I'm going to leave this reading here. I do hope it helps. I hope that it resonates. If you feel like it did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, take care and namaste.